What up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing week. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the power of being your authentic self. And really, this was inspired by the fact that I was at a conference about 2 weeks ago, and we had one of the, this pretty high caliber speaker come talk to us. And it was a pretty small conference, there were only about 20 of us. And the next day, the moderators were talking about, what you guys think about the speaker? And one lady raised her hand and she's like, I think he was a waste of time. I don't think that he actually added any value to our 2 days here. And in the future, you guys really shouldn't be bringing him in. And everyone in the room just kind of looked at each other, and the moderator said, almost kind of just kept his eyes open, like, oh my gosh, what did this lady just say? And said, you know what? I actually agree with you. I don't think that this person added any type of value to our conference. So to me, that was a very brave move on her behalf to really be the one to speak up and say, and give that like negative constructive criticism. But the point is that it was constructive, right? And a lot of us kind of struggle with those types of things sometimes. Those things that take guts to really say something negative or to go against the grain, because it's truly expressing who we are as a person. And ultimately, those are things that we need to work on, right? As to how to continue to be our true authentic selves and how that reflects in every area of our lives. So today, that's what I wanted to take a deeper dive into, and just want you guys to think about, what are those situations where you feel like you aren't your authentic self? Maybe it's sometimes when you're with your boss, or maybe when it's sometimes when you're with just someone with a higher title or higher power in general. Maybe it's with your family sometimes. These different scenarios that you get placed in life where you feel like you can't necessarily be yourself, or truly express how you feel, or truly be who you are. So overall, how we can overcome these mental barriers and move past this facade that we feel like we have to put on, and really become and develop our true authentic self. So the first thing that I want to recommend is realize what are your triggers, right? Last video we talked a lot about triggers and actions and self-talk, but first of all, what are the triggers and what are the situations where you feel already, off the top of your head, like, in these scenarios, I for sure am not myself. And plan ahead for those. So say, for example, one of your situations where you feel like you can't be yourself is having a one-on-one with your manager, right? Like, you're gonna meet with your manager, but you feel uncomfortable, and you tend to be the person that just agrees with them. But the reality is, because you've been agreeing with them for so long, you're just so unhappy with your job, and you feel like you just can't truly express yourself. So instead of going into that situation again and putting yourself in a situation where you just continue to agree with this person, planning ahead mentally and saying, okay, I'm going to bring up this subject, or when they bring up this subject, I know that I'm going to say X, Y, and Z. And just the thought of even planning that ahead probably gets you super nervous. And that's really kind of when you start going through the 5 why exercise. So I talked to you guys in the past about 5 whys, right? It's like, why do I feel this way? Why? And then after you ask yourself those 5 whys, you really get to the core of what the issue is. So if you're like, well, I always tend to agree with my boss. Why? Oh, because I think that they're going to think that I'm stupid. Okay, why do they think that you're stupid? Okay, why this? Why that? Why that? And then eventually you end up getting to an answer that is either completely off base, right? It's something that you've completely just fabricated in your mind and it's not true. Or you've came to a place where you realize that maybe past experiences with that person is what is influencing your current actions. So how do you move forward from those and repair that relationship? Or even maybe you find that just past experiences with another boss and another job just has you traumatized, right? So come to ask yourself those whys to get to the root of the issue and really fix the root of the issue instead of continuing to be afraid of those interactions with whoever it may be, just using kind of this boss as an example. The second thing to keep in mind is that you're not alone, right? So you may be the one that's afraid to be talking to your boss in this instance, but guess what? Your boss also has these issues. We're all human. We all have these moments where we are fearful of being our authentic selves, or we are hesitant and we kind of hold back on being who we truly are. Granted, there are some times where it's completely inappropriate, right, to act a way that you would normally like want to react, but for the most part you should be able to express yourself in the way that you want to. So again, just remember that you are in an even playing field with everyone. We're all human. We all have these different various feels of, you know, should I act this way, should I say this thing, whatever it may be. And your boss or whoever it is also has these different types of fears. So I can guarantee you that even if you share with them that you're struggling with whatever it is, whatever type of communication or expressions that you're struggling with them, they can relate to you. So remember that piece, right? Number 3, remember that you're also not going to be everyone's friend, okay? Tough love and reality, you're not going to be everyone's friend. I hope you're not trying to be everyone's friend. You definitely can't please everyone, right? The only person that you're responsible for pleasing and being their friend is yourself. So if you're doing something that is completely against your grain and completely against your values, or completely against like what you believe, what you think, what you actually feel like you need to say, then that's going to cost you so much in the long term. So say even, you know, we're talking about a new person that you just met and you're like, oh, I really want to be their friend. I think this person's really great. So you, again, start doing what you're doing with your boss, right? Is you start agreeing with them and you start doing all the things that they want to do. And then eventually you find yourself kind of going into this like trap of becoming or doing things that just aren't true to yourself. So what ends up happening is this person might like you at the beginning, but guess what? The truth always comes out. So ultimately, this can lead to completely damaging that relationship because they find out that you've just been agreeing and doing all these things just because you really want to hang out with them or be with them or whatever it may be. Or on the flip side, say they haven't found out yet, aren't you exhausted? Like, aren't you exhausted from being this other person that's not truly who you are? So it turns into an exhaustion for yourself because you continue to just do things, say things, act things, and act in ways that aren't aligned with who you truly are. So don't fall into that trap of trying to satisfy everyone, and really make sure that you're focusing on those people that really matter, and that you're also able to be your authentic self with those people, because being your authentic self will truly satisfy them and satisfy those relationships. The last thing I'm going to say is you are the only person that needs to live with you. And what I mean by that is all those times that you're saying yes, or all those times that you're actually not being yourself or not being your authentic self, those are all things that you have to live with and nobody else does. So think of a time where maybe you just agreed with someone or just did something with someone, or you say something and you agree with them and you're like, that's completely against what I believe. And you feel like a punch in your stomach. Literally, it feels like somebody is punching your stomach. And you just feel so disgusting inside. And you're like, why did I even say that? I don't actually believe that. I don't actually want to do that. And right in that moment, you can feel this disgusting feeling, or it can continue for weeks or for months. And that's something that you have to keep in mind is You're the only person that has to live with that feeling. They don't have to live with it, you do. So is that a feeling that you want to feel, or do you want to feel like, hey, I actually expressed myself in a way that I believe was appropriate, but I also gave my honest opinion forward, and this is who I truly am, and I don't have to live with this feeling of disgust, I guess you could even say, of just trying to put up a front for other people. So just remember that ultimately you have to live with you. And you're placed in all these different situations in life really because you are meant to be there. Your gift is meant to be there. Your opinions are meant to be there. This is supposed to serve as a learning opportunity, not only for you, but also for all of the other parties that are involved. So remember that when you're gonna go through these tough situations, there are times where you're just like, do I just say what I think I should say? Do I say what I actually feel? Do I do what I actually know that I should be doing? Keep in mind that ultimately you're supposed to be there for a reason to learn and to share your voice and your unique opinion. And you're also going to be the only person living with yourself in the future. So hopefully you're making the best decisions that are aligned with your core values, with your beliefs, and ultimately that are aligned also with your goals. So I hope that this video served you guys, and that you continue to strive to be your authentic self, and that you continue to be able to just share your gifts with the world. And don't forget that you truly are a gift. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you guys know of somebody who needs to hear this message, please share this video with them. I'd really appreciate it. Also, please make sure that you like it and subscribe, and keep in mind that I'm new here. So I appreciate all feedback. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. I hope you have a great rest of your day.